Every fact presented in this programming is from the Monster Hunter World lore book itself, and is therefore confirmed canon in the Monster Hunter universe. Dodogama, Tempered Monsters, the Admiral. What do these three have in common? They are mysterious, attractive, and they all have lesser-known origin stories that can completely change how you think of them. Today we've asked the Chief Ecological Researcher, Jarvis,
Hello!
to share with us what knowledge his research has gleaned on these few subjects. Know that there are more subjects, all with their own stories to tell. This is simply the beginning. Tell us about Dodogama.
Dodogama. Well, I guess we can start off by just mentioning that they could potentially have some toad bloodline.
What?
Well, it's a hotly debated topic between the researchers, but we have two theories for the origin of this creature. The first is that an ancient member of the Jagras family of creatures had adapted ages ago to the Elder's Recess environment. But the more interesting theory, and the one that I personally subscribe to, is that Dodogama evolved from a group known as the gas frogs. You know, the paratoads and nitrotoads, those types of fellows. Given the number of these creatures in the Elder's Recess, and the hotbed of bioenergy that lies within, it is entirely possible that a distant ancestor of these toads may have slowly absorbed bioenergy over time and become the species that we now know as Dodogama. Realistically, though, without concrete fossils, we cannot be sure which of these is a fact. Though not concrete fossils, of course, as concrete fossils could only come from like a concrete dinosaur or something like that. It'd be ridiculous. Who would want to do that?
What else about the Dodogama?
Well, there are lots of things that people know quite well about these creatures, but so many hunters choose to just look at my weakness charts and not understand why I've marked it the way that I do. Dodogama's head is a weak point because when he eats rocks, the skin stretches under his lower jaw, thus making it easier to access and to cut through. Said lower jaw makes up for approximately 30% of the weight of an adult Dodogama, as their mouths are truly something special to behold. Like, seriously, whenever you capture a Dodogama, I hold its mouth. I hold it. It's amazing. It's soft. It's warm.
Please stay on topic.
And hot! Dodogama's mouth is actually quite like a furnace. He eats the rocks and then his glands and digestive system work together to absorb the sulfur and minerals to sustain him from their nutrients. But what remains once they have touched his saliva are essentially explosive rocks. The heat required to do this is immense, and the creature doesn't have any unique organs to regulate its own heat. However, it makes up for this by, stretching its belly out, letting more air flow into it, and as a result, creating a larger surface area of its stomach that connects to the ground below him, allowing him to drag his gut along the floor to release the heat, while also being able to simultaneously take more minerals into his mouth. A Dodogama who actively has rocks in their mouth must always stay mobile to maintain its body temperature. I personally tend to use either extra clothing or a lack of clothing to control my own body temperature. In fact, there was this one time in the old world where me and my old mate Henderson went off to a lake and
Please stay on topic.
Oh, gosh, sorry, alright, my mistake, yes, where was I? Reproduction, yes, of course. Due to their diet, the Dodogama is quite solitary in nature. However, only the males actually live alone forever. The female Dodogama will lay 3 to 4 eggs every few years near a volcanic crater. After about a month, the younglings will use their jaws to break out, and then stay with their mother for a number of months before leaving to go off and claim their own patch of minerals. The mother Dodogama is known to, like the great Jagras, regurgitate minerals to feed her young. It is also worth noting that as the guild has noted that the Dodogama is likely quite an endangered species of an ancient family of monsters. As a result, the guild wants to protect them from extinction.
Did you just say that the guild officially recognizes protecting the Dodogama?
Yes, I did.
That's all we needed to know about that. Tell me about tempered monsters.
Well, the first thing of note here is that many people assume that tempered monsters are creatures that have survived combat with a hunter. This is not quite correct. While surviving combat with a hunter can affect a tempered monster, it is not the cause of the tempering in the first place. In fact, if you bothered to read my extensive books on the subject, all of the names of everything we use would make a hell of a lot more sense, so I'll condense it down for you real quick. When an elder dragon completes its crossing and dies within the rotten veil, the bioenergy goes into the Everstream, which runs through the middle of the new world, spreading this energy across the land. Monsters can inadvertently feed on this energy simply by living near certain hotspots. More bioenergy means stronger, more aggressive monsters. And once an individual has passed a certain threshold of bioenergy consumption, we label them as tempered, identifiable by their shiny scales. So beautiful and metallic and pretty.
So you're saying that a tempered monster is created slowly over time?
Yes, absolutely, and each and every tempered monster has, within them, a crystallized form of this bioenergy, where it has gathered and stored within their body. As this bioenergy came from the Everstream, we refer to these crystals as Streamstones.
You mean like...
Yes, like the augment material, Streamstones, see? When a tempered monster survives combat with a worthy foe, their streamstone grows, resulting in different levels of streamstones. The larger the streamstone, the more bioenergy and the more dangerous the monster. You can be sure of that. Now, this can be pushed to an even further degree. All of this is, of course, based around the bioenergy in the Everstream, meaning technically it is a renewable resource, something that comes back, something that a monster could continually feed on for a very long period of time. After a certain period of time, too much bioenergy can push a monster into a sort of overdrive, pushing them beyond their natural limits and sometimes even allowing them new techniques to use in combat. We call these creatures arch-tempered monsters. They get even shinier than tempered. Like if regular tempered was a piece of wool, arch-tempered is a marble made of gold. So shiny, so wonderful.
Okay, I think I understand what you're trying to say.
It's very shiny is what I'm trying to say.
I get it. Tell me about the Admiral.
Well, the Admiral, he's a silly fellow, isn't he? Quite the unique piece of work, that man. Well, it's a bit strange if you ask me, the monster researcher, about a human, but it just so happens that I keep quite detailed notes, and I'm sure that you want the juice. So I do have one thing that I know you'd love to hear. The Admiral is one of the only active New World hunters without a slinger, as this is a standard of New World hunting. Instead, you'll notice on his arm is a rope with an arrow-shaped hook attached to the end of it. He uses this instead of a slinger.
What do you mean? The rope?
Yes, he is that strong. He uses the rope alongside his muscular arms, which he is proud of, instead of a slinger.
Does it really say muscular arms?
Yes, I am reading directly from the book. It says his muscular arms, which he is proud of.
I don't believe you.
Well, you'll have to because my handwriting is very messy.
Alright, well, we'll have to fact check your work before we can come back to you next time, but thank you for taking part in this.
Whether you like it or not, everything I said is in the official guild book.
Okay then. With that said, these are the secrets of 3 specific topics in the new world. Everything can go deeper. Every monster has more to understand. Remember to keep your eyes peeled and to keep your ears open.
I don't think people can actually close their ears.
And until next time, stay sweet.
This is the brand new outro to tell you all the things that you do that we love. So let's start with something simple and say, oh, we love your eyes. When they're watching us play video games, when we make a bunch of jokes that are kinda lame, or when they gaze upon our failures as we try to kill the monsters or important news about the kingdom Animalia. Rage, Continent, Hollow, we're all here talking about the things you want to hear. So if you want to be the first to hear, like and subscribe and the bell and we'll cheer. Some of you are patrons even though we are all the noobs and you're the pros. There's nothing we can do to thank you. No, really, there's nothing we could possibly do. Goodbye.